to show you how to install a furniture kit from Guntec USA on your AR-15 style rifle. Guntec USA makes many parts for the AR rifles. These high quality parts are made here in the USA. Check out the link in the description to see all of Guntec's parts, including the colors they offer. The first item we're going to switch out is the pistol brace or stock. Make sure to comply to local and federal laws when applying this piece. As a general rule of thumb, make sure your barrel is at least 16 inches in length before installing a stock. Use a punch to push down the buffer retainer, which will allow us to remove the buffer and buffer spring. Using the correct wrench, loosen the castle nut on the back of the buffer tube. Behind the receiver end plate is the takedown pin, spring, and detent. Hold down the buffer retainer and spin the buffer tube. Now remove the spring and detent. Spin the buffer tube to the left to loosen it and remove the buffer retainer. Remove the buffer tube the rest of the way. The takedown pin detent may have been stuck when removing the spring earlier. Now's the time to pull it out. Remove the takedown pin. On the new pistol brace or stock, remove the buffer spring, receiver end plate, and castle nut. Pay attention to which direction the castle nut is oriented. The smooth side of the castle nut should face towards the barrel of the gun. Screw the castle nut all the way on the buffer tube. The receiver end plate will have a dimple that fits into the lower receiver of the firearm. Make sure this faces the correct direction as well. The dimple on the receiver end plate should fit into the dimple on the receiver. Verify the fitment of all the small parts. Screw on the buffer tube. Install the buffer retainer and spring. Hold the retainer down as you screw the buffer tube. The retainer should be held in place. Now install the detent spring. Push the spring with a blade, be sure not to kink it. Push the receiver end plate flush with the back of the receiver. The dimple on the end plate should fit in the hole on the receiver. Tighten the castle nut finger tight. The receiver end plate may move since the spring is pushing it out. Be sure to keep firm pressure on the end plate. Use a torque wrench to tighten the castle nut up to 40 foot-pounds. The next piece we will install is the pistol grip. Remove the screw holding on your existing pistol grip. This screw is typically a flathead or a hexagon. Slowly pull off the grip and make sure not to lose the spring or detent. The safety selector will now spin freely. Oil the detent and insert it in the receiver. Install the new detent spring into the pistol grip. Slide the lock washer onto the bolt. Install the bolt into the hole on the pistol grip. Keeping firm pressure on the bolt, install it onto the lower receiver. While tightening the pistol grip, make sure the spring doesn't kink. Make sure the safety selector is working properly. Now we're going to install the free-floating handguard. Guntec USA provides the barrel nut with the handguard. Remove any muzzle devices that are attached to the barrel of the gun. Remove the charging handle as well as the BCG. It's suggested to use a barrel vise block. Remove all screws attached to the existing handguard. Firmly grasp the handguard and remove it. Using the correct size hex key, remove the set screws holding on the gas block. The gas block will slide off the barrel. Use a wrench to remove the existing barrel nut. Once broken loose, remove all the threads. The barrel should easily be removed from the upper receiver. Now is a good time to clean all the parts we removed with solvent. Apply grease to the barrel and upper receiver. Slide the barrel into the upper receiver. Screw on the new Guntec USA barrel nut. Tighten the barrel nut snug. Do not torque it yet. Immediately loosen the barrel nut. Remove the barrel nut a few threads and then torque it down to 30 foot-pounds. The Guntec USA barrel nut will need to be clocked to the correct direction. You can torque the barrel nut anywhere from 30 to 80 foot-pounds to get the screws to line up correctly. The upper receiver Picatinny rail should align with the rail on the handguard. If the screw holes do not allow this to happen, you may need to use the spacers provided with the barrel nut. The barrel is inserted in the upper receiver. The barrel nut slides over the barrel and screws into the upper receiver's threads. If the holes are not centered, remove the barrel nut. Install one of the provided spacers. Reinstall the barrel nut and see if that fixes the issue. If the holes are still not aligned, remove the barrel nut and try to add more spacers. After trying the spacers, if your problem is not solved, contact Guntec. Make sure the torque on the barrel nut is 30 to 80 foot-pounds. Reinstall the gas block. Make sure the gas port on the barrel is aligned with the gas block. Tighten both screws. Now the handguard can be slid over the barrel. Install all 6 screws using the correct Torx bit. I suggest alternating from side to side to evenly apply pressure while torquing these screws. Now you can install your buffer and buffer spring. You can reinstall your BCG and charge handle.